board treatment is an intentional choice. That is 100% true. Men are socialized from the moment they're born to weaponize their incompetence, to feign ignorance. Trains them how to be manipulative, how to avoid accountability for when they're cruel and unkind. All that mean stuff he's doing to you wasn't an accident, babe. He knew exactly what he was doing. Run.
Hello everybody, it's Hope K. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? I hope you had a great time. I've got another video for you today, and I just want to let you know, guys, if your man is mistreating you, he means that. It's not an accident, he's doing it intentionally. Let's check out the stitches and get the conversation popping. Please subscribe.
Okay, so a lot of women are having an issue because I said that men are not dumb. I'm standing on all 10 behind my statement because men are not dumb. Romantically, baby. I'm not talking intellectually. I'm talking romantically. Like I said, it's innate for men to do the right thing for the woman they want to be with. You want to call him dumb because he ain't doing what you want him to do. The women that disagree with me, I wonder, are you one of the ones that really wanted a guy and he didn't want you back, or he maybe was lying to you, making you feel away, and you went off your feelings instead of reality? I've been there. Don't think I'm saying this to bash you or come at you, but I'm gonna need for you to think before you type. Men are not dumb romantically. That's why when he leave you, he go get a next girl roses that you've been dying for. He get a next girl a ring that you've been dying for. Like I said, men are not dumb, and I'm standing on that. I don't care what nationality, ethnicity, race, weight, none of that. Men ain't dumb. They know what they're doing. It's innate romantically for men to do what they want to do for the right woman. Period. I'm standing on it.
Men are not dumb. Men are not stupid. You're being manipulated. They will get on this app all the time and tell you that they taught themselves how to code and then got a job at like Google or Facebook or something, right? They'll build houses. They'll build cars. I had a neighbor have his whole audio system for his car like spread out in the garage. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And he says, oh, I decided to put in a new like Bluetooth stereo system. And I was like, that's cool. Are you a mechanic? And he said, no, I just found a guy on YouTube. And then I left and came back in like 6 hours and he was done. So this guy who had never done this before taught himself a skill, found all of the parts to do it and did it. And the next time I saw him, he was like, oh yeah, no, it works and it's perfect, right? They are not dumb. They are not stupid. You are being manipulated.
I'm sorry, but it really stresses me the hell out when men try to play oblivious to things, and I don't even care about them actually being oblivious to things and trying to pretend they don't understand. What annoys me is that women believe them. You think that a 26-year-old man who is the same age as you doesn't understand a basic principle, that this is inappropriate, this is inappropriate. I can completely understand that there are certain situations that differ for people. Like, I genuinely don't find a lot of things a problem, and some people might find them a problem, and that's when we communicate. But there are certain things that are just common sense, and these men are 100% lying to you when they say they don't understand or they didn't see it happening, or oh my god, like, oh, I'm so oblivious. Shut your mouth, you're a liar. I cannot deal with people like that. They know what they're doing to you, babes. Because if he didn't know that flirting with someone was inappropriate, why is he able to pick up every inappropriate thing that a man says to you? Why is he able to pick up any inappropriate outfits that you wear to the club? Why is he able to see in the future of how you wearing something inappropriate could eventually trigger certain consequences? Why has he not seen those consequences for himself? Because you're not going to pretend that you're not 26 years old with the same brain as me. When I broke up with my ex-boyfriend for trying to cheat on me and not succeeding, which is the most embarrassing thing ever, the man tried to say to me, don't you think you can give me a second chance now, because now I get it? Babes, you've always gotten it. You just thought you'd get away with it. Come out my face.
Do you think that a narcissist actually wants you feeling good about yourself? Do you think they want your confidence high, your self-esteem through the roof? You think that person wants you to realize you got love outside of them? No! This is why somebody wants to break you down, because if they break you down, how can you go? If they isolate you from all of your self-support system, who can uplift you? You think that person wants you to have power of will, autonomy in your life? Some sort of sense of independence? Hell no! This person wants you relying on them and only them. Because if you depend on them, you can't leave despite how horribly they treat you. Some men want to lower the bar in your life. They want calling you unfit, calling you stupid, fat, calling you out your name, telling you nobody else will want you. They want that to be your baseline. You know why? Because the very moment he bring you flowers, you feel like it's your anniversary. A lot of you guys think all men want their women feeling good about themselves. Oh, hell the no.
If he wanted to, he would. Look, men are not dumb. There's just things we choose to do and things we choose not to. So he may not do it for you, but he gonna do it for somebody.
Men are not stupid. I don't think they are. Most people actually aren't that stupid. They choose to be stupid. This is because it makes life easy for them. Many years ago, I had a coworker, I used to say this to her all the time. I said, listen, everything in your body, in your evolution, in your genome does not allow you to fail life. You get hunger signals, signals for thirst. If something's sweet, it's safe to eat. If it's awful, it's probably poison, okay? You were designed to last a long time. These things are built to last, okay? And I realized in my early life, most people that we would consider like truly dumb actually prefer it that way. Do you know why? Because they live life on easy mode. So at some point, they've just figured out if you know to get the shower curtains with the little magnet things on the bottom and how to properly close it and work it and hang it up and everything so that when I get in the shower, water doesn't pour out and I don't slip and break my head on the tile and die, I don't have to. It's one less thing for me to do or remember to buy. And this is how I see so many relationships. I've sat across the dinner table, I'm very sorry to say, from a couple where the woman carried his EpiPen and then double checked he was ordering the right things at the restaurant. My little nieces at their schools, they've got kids that are designated like super food allergy. There's 8-year-olds who know that they can't have sesame seeds or avocados, okay? There's no way a 33-year-old doesn't know what they can and can't order at a restaurant. But if they've got you to think for them, it lessens their burden and their mental burden through daily life. So there are absolutely no truly stupid people. There are people who've decided at some point that they're just going to let their mind power atrophy completely, go to waste at the expense of everybody around them. Everybody else has to work twice as hard so they can just kind of like kick it. If this happened at work, what would you say to your boss? Can you get me the whatever file? Do you know how to do this? You would say, I don't yet, but you know what? I'll figure it out and I'll get back to you. Well, they can figure it out and get back to you, can't they? They can figure out how to book a trip. They can figure out what the weight limit is on a suitcase. They can figure it out without your help, but they must be willing. So if they're not willing, why are you willing to be in a relationship and think for two people? That's a form of self-abuse. Stop this.
I was dating this guy, this is a while back, and while I was dating him, I ended up running into the woman that he dated right before me. And she was telling me how she'd been with him for years and he never introduced her to his mom or his sister and cheated on her and he just treated her poorly, right? Meanwhile, at that point, I've been with him maybe a month as far as like being in a relationship, and I met his mom, his sister, he met my parents, my family, and he was treating me very well. Basically, what I'm saying is if you are with someone or you're talking to someone who you know have treated women poorly before you, I don't care how good and how well they're treating you right now. It's the fact that they have that capability to do that to another woman. And really, what's stopping them from doing it to you in the future? Yeah, so be cautious.
Somebody you love and have affection for to purposely treat you like you're the worst person on earth. Like nothing you do in life will ever be good enough. But the narcissist has to make life hard for you because they don't have enough love for themselves to build you up. See, in the moment, you think it's you until you distance yourself after that discard. And you take a look at how insecure a narcissist actually is. Literally with their entire existence. Their looks, their career, their emotional instability. And when you push every relationship you've ever been in to explode and be dysfunctional, when you consistently blame your life's problems on the entire world, when you never take any accountability for your own action because most people in your life just accepted it as you being you, that's a sign you lack love for yourself. And how could a narcissist love you if they don't even love themselves? How could they give you compassion and empathy when they lack it for themselves? This is just self-destruction at its highest levels. It's also why 70% of those with NPD have substance abuse issues. They need to have a dependence on something.
Poor treatment is an intentional choice. Men are fully aware of how they are treating you. It isn't by accident. Once you internalize that men aren't dumb, you realize that in almost every instance of discontentment you've experienced, it wasn't you being bumped into, it was you being pushed. It makes sense to not be mad if someone bumps into you, but if being pushed You should be offended, babe. If a man doesn't want to be romantic, doesn't want to take you on dates, is stringing you along, being inconsistent, doesn't acknowledge your feelings or needs, anything, etc., it isn't because he didn't hear you the first time. It isn't because he doesn't know. You think men don't know they're supposed to take you on a date? No, they just reserve that for women they actually deem worthy of that. Meaning, if he isn't doing those things, he is saying to you, you aren't worthy of that. It means he saw you and decided that was how he was going to treat you. He saw you and decided you weren't worth seriously pursuing. You weren't worth honesty. You weren't worth having your feelings respected or accommodated. And when I get that information from a man, when a man says that to me through his actions, that's an insult. Why would I react to that with anything but silence or hostility? People are playing in your face because they think you're too stupid to catch it, or are too weak to do anything about it. And I would heavily advise you to not let that be the case.
Somebody answer this question. Why is it that so many men are dying on the hill that they are not mind readers, and that if their wives would just tell them what they need done, they wouldn't have any problem doing it? Like, are they not living in the exact same house that she is? Do they not have children together that both of them are the parents of? Do they not both sit on the same toilet, walk on the same floors, eat out of the same dishes? Why is it that you have to be told what to do in your own home? She's not been told anything. She doesn't ask you what needs to be done. She does it on her own. You can sit there and memorize fantasy football stats when turkey season starts, how many you can bag, how big it can be, what deer you can shoot, when that season is. You can remember when college football starts back up, but you can't take one glance around your house and notice that the kids messed up the living room. You can't notice that the baby needs a diaper change while mom is sweating over the stove. You can't notice that while, she's getting dinner about to be prepped on the table, she's plating it. You could go ahead and start putting some of those dishes that she used in the dishwasher. Literally, why do you have to be told what to do? You get angry about it, but you are expecting her to manage you and give you a chore list as if you are a child. Make it make sense.
The reason why they treated you the way they treated you is because they had to dumb you down in order to keep you. They knew that you deserved better, but they didn't want you to have better. So instead of letting you go, they chose to make you feel less than in order for them to qualify. They knew that if you were aware of what you were actually worth, if you were aware of what healthy treatment looked or felt like, you would not be dealing with their ass. It's manipulation. If I can convince you that you are worth what I say you are worth, then you will also believe that the treatment I give you is the treatment that you deserve.
The truth is, men are a lot smarter than women give them credit for. Men are trying to figure out where to place this woman and what category to place her to avoid wasting their time and avoid a heartbreak. So a man deciding to not give you attention or text you back, or chances are that he don't look at you like your girlfriend material, even though that you're expecting that type of treatment. He may have already diagnosed you as the type of woman that, if we break up or if she gets upset, she may flirt with my homies or my homies. That's why he ain't texting or giving you that sort of treatment that you feel that you deserve, because he's already figured out that you're that type of woman. And women may not want to hear this, but the truth is there have been women that I would definitely sleep with, but I'd never take out on a date. I'd never spend money on her. She ain't girlfriend material. The treatment that she's expecting from me, she doesn't deserve in my eyes. But this woman over here, yeah, I'd spend money on her. I'd go on a date with her. If she said she don't sleep with a guy for the first 30 days, I'd wait for her. But this girl right here, absolutely not. Men are a lot smarter than women give them credit for.
Society loves to romanticize this idea of women being the exception to a male, where a male is trash his entire dating experience until this one woman comes into his life and all of a sudden he knows how to be a human and have empathy and treat her properly. So a lot of us tend to date with the goal of being a guy's exception to the rule. And because of this, I think that for a lot of women, subconsciously they believe that if they're not a guy's exception, that she has failed. So instead of accepting the failure of her not being the woman that he changes for, a lot of us will just buy into the idea that he is just being dumb and doesn't know any better. And because guys know that we tend to think this way and do these things, they play into it. They make excuses to string us along, and we play into it out of fear of admitting that failure. So ladies, a guy not changing for you does not indicate failure on your part. It's just a sign that y'all are not compatible, and it's time for you to move the hell on, okay?
I wish I had embodied that understanding in my last relationship, because instead I was blaming myself for why this man who took such care to brand himself as one of the good ones was now acting this way. And he was more than happy to lean into me blaming myself. This man genuinely had me thinking that he was behaving the way that he was behaving because I was so impossible to please and I was pushing him to his limits with me and all my trauma. And the one time that I pushed back and pointed out that he was volatile with me even in May, he snapped back with, well, you don't know how frustrated I already was with you. But the reality was, I wasn't doing anything. If anything, I was getting smaller and more timid and more accommodating in light of his behavior. He had just decided that he didn't have to cosplay as a good guy anymore. These kind of men are banking on the fact that women have been conditioned to feel responsible for men's emotions. And that they just don't get it because, they're a guy. But the reality is they get it. They actively get it. And they are deliberately choosing to be that way only as long as it takes to hook the woman in.
He's continuing to mistreat you because you keep mistreating yourself. Some of y'all women take so much pride in that he ain't going nowhere, he'll be back mentality, but in all reality, every time he goes and makes love to another woman, he went somewhere. Every time he doesn't use protection outside of your relationship, he went somewhere. Every time that he checks her page, DMs her, text, and call her back, he goes somewhere. For whatever reason it is that you choose to stay, whether it's money, insecurities of your own, low self-esteem, that's on you. Remember, it's not him that won't go anywhere, it's you. He has literally been everywhere that he chooses. You are the only one that hasn't. Let that sink in.
There's really two things I want to touch on. One is that I think men have been very good and successful at putting us against each other. How they'll say things like, oh, you ask them, why did you break up? What happened in your previous relationship? And they'll say, oh, my ex is crazy, fam. She's crazy. Okay, what made her crazy? What's crazy? What is it? His baby mama is crazy, or his exes are crazy, all these women around him are crazy, all the men are fine. He can hold relationships with the boys and the men in the community. So now there you are thinking negatively of her, but try talk to her. I promise you'll be shocked. Some of you women feel so important, so special, that you think it's not your problem. If you were at a train station and somebody collapses and there happen to be some medical professions around, it's not by force that they have to do something legally, but their guidelines state that doctors must offer help in an emergency. I feel like this duty of care shouldn't just be limited to healthcare professionals. We need to be more proactive as women to take on the duty of care for one another. Some countries even have these Good Samaritan laws and stuff like that, where yes, you might not be required to do something when you're at the scene of a crime, especially if it's going to cause you bodily harm or you're in danger. But if you are not in danger and you do not help anyone who needs assistance, you can get legally done for. If there's an accident, if there's anything of that sort, you're supposed to call 999, 911, whatever your emergency lines are. And if you want to leave after that, you know what? Kudos. But at least you've done something. You have to do something. You can't just pretend it's not your problem. You can't just leave people because you deem it not your problem. There's been some people who've even gone as far as being sued by the family of the victims because they could have done something, but they chose not to do anything for whatever reason. Their inactivity led to the demise of a person. I feel honestly that we as women should have that for each other. If you see some injustice, don't think it's good to me, so it's not my problem, it's not my business, I'm good over here. No, because tomorrow it might be you. But if it's not you, it could be your daughter, your sister, your friends. Why would you want that for someone else? The second thing is what the other woman talked about. It's embarrassing that these men know all the football stats, NBA players, but apparently do not have enough brain space to remember your anniversary, your children's birthdays, or any other important family events. Really? Okay. How do you know how many hat tricks a person has? How do you know what happened in each football match as well? It's not even just like, oh, roughly this thing had happened. No, they'll tell you the whole football game from play to play. They'll tell you who tackled who. They'll tell you who did a dive. They'll tell you what's going on at all times. They know from 1880s all the way to present day. They remember that stuff. These people weren't even born at that time, deep it. They were not born then, but they know this stuff. They kept it in their hearts. But you don't know my birthday. We have no excuse now because they are putting it out there. They're letting us know that this is who they really are. So if you're not paying attention, sis, I don't know what to tell you, but this is the age of information, honey. If you don't know something, you better find out about it because these people are moving mad out here and they will finish you off. What do you guys think? It's over to you. Do you think men really do have a weaponized incompetence? Do you think they really are just dumb? We're giving them way more than we should. What are some of the ways that you've seen men do this? Please share some real life examples in the comment section below. As usual, let's get the conversation popping. Let's discuss this so that we can all learn from each other and know what we're supposed to be doing. That's it for me. Until next time, be safe out there. Cheerio.
The more chances that you give a man to disrespect you, the less he will value you. Men do not appreciate women they can use and abuse. They're not afraid to lose you because they know your self-esteem and self-worth is so low that no matter what they do, regardless of how disappointing, disrespectful, hurtful it may be, you will never walk away, and that is not good. Know your worth. You must dig deep and find enough courage to walk away from any man when respect is no longer being served. You teach men how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. Your self-respect gotta be stronger than your feelings. Putting yourself first isn't selfish, it's necessary.